Hello. Just to let you know that this spoiler TV series review covers the entirety of Season 1. 2024's Tales of the TMNT series is a fun show with deceptive storytelling. This show is also set in the Mutant Mayhem universe at various times after the movie. The series has two halves, with one being Bishop focused and the other one covering the East River 3 mutant storyline. Honestly, I don't think we should be theorizing on when parts of the series actually happened or not. Before you do an actually on me, I know it's called Tales of the TMNT and not just TMNT. It is pretty evident on what this series wanted to do based on Leo's self-centered account of the Night of the Mechazoids in the first episode. But also I would understand if the second half of the series could upset or frustrate fans or viewers with Raph's hinted deceptive storytelling. We will get to the second half of the season, but the first episode of this series was one of my weakest rated ones. The later parts of the episode had standout fights, amusing moments of people bothered by Leo's outer monologue, to even him being thrown through a window, but the beginning of the episode seemed a little stale. The following Mikey-focused, slightly better rated episode had character standout moments in planning, finding out where Bishop is for Rod, and mostly funny moments, but not all of them landed as hard as they could. Raph's first episode stood out with the funniest tale so far, with the Purple Dragons intros, Raph's chicken jokes, him putting arms on the chickens to defend themselves, to some amusing character quirks. I can see some people being pumped up for Friday. The fourth episode was the nerdiest, but slowest, and ended on a good note. It ended with Don standing up for what was right, and him figuring out how to level the playing field. But it wasn't the strongest Donatello-centered episode in this season. This fifth better-rated, somewhat amusing episode provided clarity on what actually happened when Bishop set up her trap and what made the TMNT split up. It also provided backstory to Bishop's motivations and resources for the Mechazoids, along with humans and mutants he had to deal with, which is where the amusing moments of the episode were. The sixth highest rated episode was amusing, entertaining, had character standout moments, showed what the turtles stood for thanks to Leo, and gave its own origin story to this version of Bishop. The seventh, somewhat amusing and entertaining episode was the second lowest rated one, with some alleviated but worrying moments to it. This eighth Mikey-centered episode was a bit better with more amusing moments, such as characters stopping Genghis from eating something, when he keeps insisting that he should. This ninth episode didn't start out strong, but ended better than the eighth, with character interactions and a cool Blade-themed fight scene. Episode 10 was the standout Donnie episode, with him calming down Wingnut a few times, talking and doing some Donatello things, and to managing and taking down a freaking alligator. There was a moment where Leatherhead suplexed and disabled an alligator too, but that was more played off for laughs, especially with Don's reaction to not knowing that information earlier. This next, somewhat amusing Leo episode was fine, and he did and didn't do some things, and also didn't stop what was coming. He did learn some info, especially about Pete, and there were some other amusing moments throughout the episode, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I could have. The final episode of the series was a bit better than the previous 11th one, with amusing and entertaining moments. However, we are now going to address the elephant in the room about the second half of this season. Throughout the closing half, it had been switching between what Raph was doing with Splinter's vermin-speaking story. It was hinted that Raph is certainly taking creative liberties on the Tales of the Flood, and their battles against the East River Three. While I believe that the first half of the series most likely happened, I am not so sure about the second half of it. Or maybe the series didn't happen at all, since both brothers are telling their own stories, rather than showing and being a part of it. There are certainly other tales of the TMNT that showed rather than implied telling, such as the remainder of the 2012 TMNT TV series. Fans, viewers, and myself included would like clarity on what happened in 2024's Tales of the TMNT, and not theorizing on what was exaggerated, did or didn't happen, as if the series was in a simulation. Here's to hoping that the second season clears things up. 2024's Tales of the TMNT series is still a fun show, but with deceptive storytelling. Episodes 1 and 12 in order were rated 70, 73, 75, 73, 76, 78, 70, 72, 75, 77, 75, and 76, all scored out of 100 each. The first half of the season was better and ended stronger, yet the second half had better, rated character-focused episodes compared to the other TMNT brother episodes I rated lower in the first season's half. I didn't want to rate this season too low, so it gets a 76 out of 100. Whether the new characters and elements exist in canon or not, 2024's Tales of the TMNT opens up the brothers, storylines, and other potential returning characters down new avenues in Season 2 or the Mutant Mayhem sequel. They just have to clear things up and out first. I have more TMNT content on my Creator Nerd Creative, Nerby Games Gaming, and Nerdbrew product review channels in this video description links. Anything else related to this channel displays on this end screen.